Kia ora everyone. Somehow I entered this session green, but it wasn't pretty. A $100 mistake, a wild comeback, and a reminder to stay composed under pressure. Let's break it down. So I started trading this morning and BZAI was one of the leading gainers on the day. I'd watched this in pre-market, so a little bit earlier on. I actually watched another stock, I think, during the start of pre-market. BZAI wasn't my focus in pre-market, but I didn't trade anything today at the start of pre-market, so let's turn that off. So BZAI, I got up around 6:30ish. I saw it pop up here, and it was, yeah, it had popped up through, bounced down to VWAP, come down to VWAP, then popped up through VWAP, and I took my first trade at 6:04. So I didn't trade it through here. It broke up through to here. I took my first trade, no, not 6:04, 6:07 in this candle here, I'm pretty sure, 6:39. Got in at 6:07. It didn't really, go, and it pulled back, and I think I got out at 591 as it came back down here. Broke down through my stop here at 591, around here. Just check that actually. What time was that? 6:39 to 6:44. Yeah. So 6:39. Yep, was this red candle here, to 6:44, which is down in this candle here, and I got it at 591 as it came down to the 9 EMA. Should have bought straight back in really for the leg back up. So I took a $16 loss on my first trade. Not a huge loss, 100 shares, down 16 cents. So not that bad, moved on. My next trade was on BZAI again, but I got in at 6:24, and that was at 6:57. So it was here, 6:57, in at 6:24. So around the bottom of this micro pullback here. And it pushed straight away, and I took my exit at 6:41. That's right. So if I make it a bit bigger here, I was in on this candle here, and 6:21 there, and out at 6:41, which was around the top of this green candle here. This one here should have held, but because it was pulling back and it hadn't hit that the high of that green candle there, I thought it was going to reverse and actually pull back, so I just took it off the table at 6:41. It did push further up to 680, and then even further to the previous, well, to that high there at 6.99, $7. So yeah, not great, but could have done better on that trade. But ended up taking $17. So I was pretty much break even for the day after that trade, just up $1. Next trade was on BZAI again, and this was a bit rough. So this was a bit of a disaster trade really. I entered BZAI at the top here at 680. So I got in on this candle pullback here, looking for it to push back through the whole dollar. So I was expecting it to possibly pull back a little bit more and then break back up through here, up over $7. It did not obviously do that. It pulled back. And when it came down to here, I was thinking, I should get out. It's coming back to the 9 EMA. I should stop out. Really, I should be stopping out. I should have stopped out here, around 670. Is it 670? Yeah, around 670. So when it broke down through the bottom of that red candle, and that level there, that should have been my stop, and I should have been out. That would have been $10 down, and that's all right. Nothing major. Down $10. That's okay. But I didn't get out. I waited for it to hit the 9 EMA and rally, looking for it to rally back up through here. Didn't happen again. It came back up here, just over 670, and then it pulled back down to here, and I should have stopped out again there. Obviously topping tail, topping tail, topping tail, you know, that green one there. And yeah, not looking very strong. And then it flushed down here. So I didn't get out before the flush. It flushed down here to 634, and I hit the sell key to get out. I hadn't changed the order from buy to sell, so instead of selling, I bought another 100 shares. So now I'm in 200 shares with an average price of around 657, I think it was, for break even. Yeah. And I held. I thought it might rally to get back up there, and I could take a break-even trade. It sort of held, kept coming back up to about 634, but then it dipped down below VWAP. And as it came back down here, I took it off the table at $6 and, what was it, 604. I took it off the table at 604 and was down $105.50 on the day. So that was a loss of around $110, I think, $110.50. So $110.50. I've got it split on my data sheet here between two losing trades. One I entered at 680, one at 634, both exiting at 604. So a loss of 76 and 29.50. So yeah, that's 96, 618. Yeah, about 110.50, I think that is. Yeah, so now I'm down $105.50 on the day. And to be honest, I think I handled it pretty well. I didn't actually get triggered about it. I was like, down $100. Okay, that happens. That was a bit of a mistake there, and I didn't let it get to me. I stayed calm. I thought, it's still early. It's only just after 7 o'clock. There's plenty more trading to do. Let's see if I can recover some of this loss. I didn't really expect to recover all of it based on my previous performance and the amount of profit that I've made previously. You know, I thought I might be able to make back another $50 or $60 on it, and only be down maybe $50 for the day or something like that. So I kept trading, and there was a couple of stocks that popped up that I didn't trade. LAWR was one that had sort of popped up, and you know, I saw this pop up, and you know, it sort of pulled back here, and I wasn't interested in it on the pullback. Didn't look like it was, you know, really had any legs in it to get going. I didn't like this big red candle here. So I didn't trade LAWR, just looked a bit messy for me. It did rally up here. These two red candles put me off again from getting in on the low here off the 9 EMA, so I didn't buy in there. But it ended up being a decent trade, going from 490 up to, you know, high of 688. Even just getting that leg there, 490 to 588 or something like that, that's nearly $1 a share. That would have been a decent trade, but I just didn't like the price action on LAWR. I go to pre-market, LAWR, so it's not listing its float there. TLO was the other leading gainer, and that just had quite a large float, 17.25, and that was a bit heavy trading on that one, so I didn't trade that. CPOP didn't trade, yeah, the others I didn't trade at all. But the next stock that popped up for me that I did trade was KMRK. KMRK it had a decent range. It did have a bit of a spread on between the bid and the ask, but it had some range on it. And I got in this at, what was it, 7, bad look. I traded that at 7.14. So 7.14, yeah, that's right. I'd seen it spike up here, started pulling back, and I got in here at 7.14 as it dipped down to the 9 EMA, and I got in at 687, I think. What was it, 687? Yeah, 687. So I was in about, it's not going to go there. I was about in around 687 on this candle here, and looking for it to push back. It pulled back a little bit, held through that. It ripped up here to $8. I didn't take it off the table. It pulled all the way back down to my entry, and then pushed all the way back up again. It went up to a high of, what was that high? That was 824. Went up to 824. I didn't take it off the table still. Then it pulled back here, and I'd put an order in around 844. I didn't want to sell on the price action. The bid and the ask were going all over the place and very quickly. And I've found there's a slight lag between the TradingView platform and TradeZero sometimes. So sometimes when I put an order in, it kind of doesn't get filled, even if sometimes there's an offset. So what I did was I put a preset order in at 844, looking for it to get filled. When it pulled back down here, I wasn't sure if it was going to make it back to 824 to 844. So I actually changed my preset order to $8.10 here. And it pulled back, ripped through my order, got filled at 8.10, and I was out for $123 profit on that trade. So probably the best trade I've taken in a while. $1.23 a share, and it actually kept going up to obviously over $9 on that leg of that trade. Definitely wouldn't have got probably anywhere up here if I was selling on the bid. By the time it probably would have filled me, I would have been below $9, but still could have made a little bit more on that trade. But actually really happy to actually go from red on the day, $105, to now be green on the day, $18.50. So the $123 profit on that trade put me up on the day in the green to finish the week. 5 green days this week, so really happy with that, and that's where I left it. Yeah, I watched a couple of other stocks, MEIP as well. I sort of watched as well. LAWR was the other one as well, and you know, MEIP I sort of I thought about taking a trade on MEIP really, but yeah, it sort of popped up here and it just sort of actually ground down, and I thought about taking a trade around 9.20 for this pushback to 10. So it pulled back down here, and I was looking at getting in as it broke through over this red candle here, back through the 9 EMA, and taking an entry around $9.30, looking for a pushback to 10, around $10. And it did, it pushed back there. Yeah, but I didn't take the trade. I just didn't want to risk it. Coming back from so far in the red, for me, to be green on the day again, I didn't really want to risk it on that. And yeah, that was pretty much it for me. Called it a day. So yeah, 40% accuracy today, not great, but risk reward ratio 1.73, which just tipped the scales to give me a profit of $18.50 today. So looking at the calendar, 5 green days in a row this week, looking for a gross profit of $217.92, which is good. And that brings me up on the month, over $200 in profit, gross $273 in profit this month, and a net profit of $222. So nice to be in the green for a change. Having that P&L curve pushing up is great to see. The bot had a solid session today. It took 9 trades across 4 tickers and ended the day up $381. Its biggest winner was KMRK with $212 profit. It also made $109 on LAWR and $81 on MEIP. The only red trade was BZAI, where it lost 21. It's been interesting seeing the bot evolve. I'm tweaking it constantly in the background, refining how it handles volatility, entries, exits, and this week it's starting to show some real consistency. If you're curious about how it works or want to know more, drop a comment and let me know. For me, today was all about emotional control and a big reminder to stay calm under pressure. That $100 mistake easily could have blown up the session, but I stayed composed, waited for a proper setup, and traded my way back. I'm finishing the day $18.50 in profit, and I'll take that any day. If you're enjoying these daily breakdowns, remember to like and subscribe and follow along, and see how I stack up against the bot as I keep pushing toward consistency. I will see you next week. Hei te rā wiki.